world champion Shai Gilgeous-Alexander signed a $285 million extension that will see him staying in OKC until 2031. Not only is SGA happy with the deal, so are the refs, who are going to get to call a lot of fouls for the next 6 years. Who says Canada isn't helping the American economy? Welcome to the Moonstamp Cast. I am Jordan. That was a joke. This is the Tim Hortons is named after a real guy to my Shawn Michaels singing, Canada, Brian. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing good. You have shaken the beehive. This normally ends poorly for us.
Well, here's the thing. I think we've talked about this on the podcast. I actually like SGA, and I think the way he plays is within the rule book. You can take whatever moral quandaries you have with it, and we can discuss that at some point. But within the confines of the rules, he's playing the game.
Unwritten rules are so stupid. I hate unwritten rules of sports. Remember, they're just so. It's just an excuse for boomers to get mad at sports for the most part.
Do you remember when Tony La Russa lost his mind? So it was either a bat flip or something like that. Tony La Russa was one of the worst offenders of unwritten rules, trying to hold true to those and getting mad at people who didn't follow every single unwritten rule he thought of. So I don't know if you remember that at all. If anyone remembers that, it was just really annoying the entire time. Brian, before we get into this recording of the Moonstamp Cast, this is Moonstamp Cast number 51. And 51, that usually doesn't mean a year, but we skipped a week back when I had my dental surgery. Had to go to the ER. I was the week before the week of the Super Bowl. This means this is a year. This is 52.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Woohoo!
Woo! Now I think that means next week is going to be a year anniversary. But this is the last of the season 1 of the Moonstamp Cast.
So next week is season 2.
Season 2, episode 1 begins in 53. So I just wanted to put that out there. I didn't realize that until I started writing my notes. I was like, oh, this is 51, but it should be 52, which means next one is 1.
I didn't realize I forgot we skipped a week.
Yeah. So welcome to the last episode of season 1. It better be good. Go ahead.
Season 1, Finding Our Footing is what I'm calling it.
Yeah, that's
first 30 episodes were rough.
We got to the finals of a contest in those first 30.
We had 8 episodes, dude.
Yeah, I think we had 7 episodes when they talked to us. I was like, there's no fucking way. So we don't even know what we're doing yet. We
got further than Michael Schaub, dude.
We didn't even have the opening joke for most of those.
No.
The way we start every podcast, we did not have that for most of those podcasts. So yeah, I feel like we've gotten way better at talking to each other and just talking in general. We've had some crazy ups, some crazy downs, and season 1, the craziest down was episode 1, which no longer
exists.
The forbidden episode, for a good reason. I learned a lot about myself on that podcast.
That was well, we don't have to talk about it. That was just it was a nice rude awakening. It was good to have it then, because then we could just annihilate it. Lord of the Rings, destroy it.
Well, also
instead of saying no and keeping it, we were like, lava.
Well, for that first episode, I didn't know how to edit podcasts. I was up to I think 4 a.m. trying to sign us up for everything so we could actually get the podcast to go out.
Now we can get it out in an hour and a half.
Dude, now we got that shit down. It's I'm an audio engineer. I go on the audio engineer subreddit sometimes. I'm like, that's right. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I use Audacity. I'm a real man, a real audio engineer. But yeah, just want to point that out there, that this is the final episode of season 1. And I kind of can't believe we got here. I can't believe we started in the first place, because we talked about this for years at this point. Mm-hmm. We were a blog mostly for a while, which I actually am almost finished with a blog for the first time in a long time.
I need
very
to get
happy
back
about
into
that.
I have no excuses.
The one coming out soon is Adam Silver, Please Be Mean to Me. And the next one's gonna be in defense of Cam Smith, or a Cam Smith, whatever, talking about his, because we talked about the 225 plate appearances, which people did not understand.
Did people not understand the concept of what we talked about.
I was not in the. It would be foolish of me to even imply that at this moment Cam Smith is better than both Aaron Judge and Kyle Tucker. I would never imply that.
I think people thought when I was saying, so you're like joking. I thought I was doing a clear joking tone where I was like, so your hot take is that Cam Smith is as good as Aaron Jones? And no, apparently it went over people's heads. But alas, here we are.
That's my word with the opening joke. That's why I said, please, this is a joke. Please don't hurt me. Because I know people are going to get really mad about that. Which, again, I am okay with SGA. I think he plays within the confines of the rules until Adam Silver is mean and changes the rules. Nothing's going to happen.
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't. Don't change the way the game is played. I don't know.
If I'm being honest, the part of the officiating that pissed me off about the NBA final was not the way SGA played or the fact that SGA shot, I think, 150 free throws throughout the playoffs. That didn't piss me off. It was the fact that Caruso and Lou Dort were reffed differently. They were like grabbing people and nothing was called. And that's the part that I was just like, I mean, call it both ways. If you're going to give SGA all the fouls, you got to call it both ways.
Yeah.
But I digress. Congratulations, Oklahoma City. No one can take that away from you. Don't let anyone say shit. Everyone that talks shit about your championship is a loser. You guys are on top of the world right now.
Can I bring in an old argument into this, which we didn't disagree on? Noah Lyles, Oklahoma City is the best team in the world. They will beat any other basketball team in the world. They are world champions. I will say this after every single team wins, because it is not only is it annoying that he said that in the first place, it's annoying that people agree with him. I don't know. It's a lot of Europeans who agree with him who don't fucking understand how American sports works and that American sports are really good for a reason. Like the basketball team, the number one basketball team in America is the number one basketball team in the world. They don't get that. It's fine. They don't get things. They don't understand, their education system's a little lacking. So yeah.
They're like, ooh, they're bad at soccer, which means all their other sports probably aren't up to par as us Europeans. No.
Well, like I've explained, like the champion of Spain is not the champion of the world by default because there are other really good teams at that level. The champion of England, Liverpool, may not be the best team in the world. I think they're a really good team. I actually think they may be the best team in the world, but I can't say that for this argument. They might not be the best team in the world. At the same time, Oklahoma City is the best basketball team in the world right now, and no one can take that away from them.
Dude, we sent IT workers to the Cricket World Series or whatever, and they, I think, beat, was it Pakistan or
they beat, was it Pakistan? Was it India? They beat somebody. I cannot remember who it was, and you'll tell me in a second. There are people who had to go into their PTO portal at work, request time off, and when reasoning came up, it wasn't, a family vacation, grieving, whatever. It was, I have to go play a sport in the World Cup or like it's not the sevens. It was something else. It's not like the World Cup. Pakistan. It was like they beat Pakistan. It was the T30 World Cup where it was a shorter
T20, yeah.
T20, yeah. Where it's a shorter game. Americans are just kind of good at things.
They're just corporate workers. We're just like, all right, we're pretty good at it, and they go dominate in a sport that, quite frankly, 99.9% of Americans don't give a shit about.
I don't think most Americans know the rules of cricket, and I don't think they will ever learn. It's actually not that hard. It's just there are different numbers for different things that happen. Now there are complexities that I just don't understand, and probably will never understand, but there are complexities nonetheless. With that said, we understand baseball. We can understand cricket at some level. Which again, if we're doing hot takes right now, we'll throw this one out here, a little ditty out here. Baseball's a harder sport than cricket, and I will stand on that 100%. There's a sports science thing about this. I won't clip this.
Sure, it is.
There's a sports science thing about this. How like a baseball player could hit a cricket ball way easier than a cricket player could hit a baseball. Which baseball is probably the hardest thing to do in all of sports. Like hitting the baseball, yeah.
Hitting the baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports, and I will stand by that.
Yeah. We're lineman respecters and also baseball respecters. So good for all of you. Let's just transition to baseball though, and someone I don't know who can't hit a ball anymore. Jeremy Pena, he's hurt. He's on the IL.
Yeah, not great. Not great. I do have the Chandler Roan full what's it called in front of me? Injury report in front of me, and I'll get to that in a little bit later. Yeah, I'm glad it didn't take 2 months or a couple weeks to decipher that, oh, it's just a bruise, oh, it's just a bruise, oh, it's just a bruise, oh, yeah, it's actually there's something wrong. It only took him a couple days this time. Astros medical staff incompetence. In other news, water wet. It's It's just Houston Methodist leading medicine, right?
Well, yes, they're leading.
I shouldn't talk shit about a former employee or a former employer.
Who gives a shit? Are you going to go back there? Are you going to work in the medical field again? Probably not.
IT department.
Okay, well, sure. Okay, well, I can cut this if you want.
They're never gonna see this. It's fine. Sitting in my interview, do you recognize this?
Oh yeah, no. There's a reason. Like, I'm a little afraid to go to Europe this summer because I don't know what I've said on this podcast, and I don't know if they're gonna pull up and be like, "Sir, you know how like that Norwegian or whatever got denied because of the JD Vance meme." I'm afraid they're gonna pull up and be like, "Sir, I see what you said right here about I don't know, whatever my craziest take is on this podcast." I see what you said about like Jason Tatum. I'm gonna get you. And so
Jason Tatum, proud European.
Proud European Jason Tatum. It's because he spells his name with a Y. That's what they do over there. They add sorry, I just bit my tongue. So this is the
welcome to the injured reserve.
I mean, actually, I like to announce my new agent is Scott Boris, by the way. So just
injured list, by the way. I keep on saying injured reserve. I will probably say injured reserve for my entire life.
Why don't they just have the same one across sports? It just seems so much easier. It's someone decide. It's like, you know how like clothing sizes are standard, like not standard, but they have like everyone has the same kind of idea of what a clothing size is. Same with shoe size. Can we not do that with IRs, ILs, injured list? So I was going to say, Brian, I was kind of having a little thought discussion with myself a couple days ago in the car. And I'm not to say my brain did a little tick, tick, boom, but it wouldn't tick, tick, booming. And my conspiracy brain said he just signed with Boris. What do Boris clients love to do? And that's get hurt to help their contract. And so now we know it's a bruise. So like, it's a different game. Bruises are really hard to like fake. I mean, you can like do concealer or whatever the purple stuff is that makeup is. But my brain was thinking like, is he starting this early? Like, is this going to be like a year or two long thing? Now, again,
no, we have arbitration for 3 years after this year, which
I'm happy with 2028. With that said, sometimes I get a little nasty up here because especially my hate of Scott Boris knows no bounds. Huh?
No, that's fair. My brain also went, wow, what incredible timing, but it is a fractured rib, little bit harder to fake. Out, I think I've seen as little as 6, and I've seen as many as 12 weeks. It's, man, we could get him just if we survive, because he is our hottest bat and our most consistent bat. If we survive, we could get him back as early as mid-August, or we could get him back right when playoffs begin. Not good.
We could also do it in October, like mid-October. Who knows what? With the Astros injury, I don't know, purgatory you go into whenever you become an injured Astro. Who knows when we're going to be able to pray him out at this point? Because it just, again, for the last like 3 seasons, it feels like there's a person every season who goes down the IL about this time and then just doesn't come back for a while. We just don't. Every once in a while, you hear like, Chandler Rum tweet something like, "Oh, he's doing this or he's doing that," or like the Astros are like, "Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that." But you never know when that person's actually going to come back. It's not a real science. Everything's made up, and the injury reports don't matter. That's what I've learned with the Astros.
It's the whose line of it anyways. IL.
who's starting
injury
9?
Is it anyways?
Yeah.
Speaking of though, the 14 players on there. We have 14 players on our Major League IL. Let's start off with Spencer Getty's update with his broken thumb in Florida. He threw 15 pitches on the side of a week ago, and then 20 pitches 3 days ago. Sean Dubin not throwing with right arm strain. JP France threw 26 pitches on the 27th. Luis Garcia threw his second live BP yesterday, 25 pitches. Christian Javier threw 2 innings in live BP session in Florida. He also threw 25 pitch batting practice on the 25th. Yordan Alvarez reported to Florida on Sunday night to begin taking live BP. Finally, something good with Yordan. Denenzo has not progressed to hitting yet. McCormick reported to Florida on Sunday to begin taking live BP. welcome back, Chaz. We're going to need you right now because we just lost Pena, so we're going to have to put Dubon probably in at shortstop, and we're going to have to shuffle the outfield. Pedro Leon, Jacob Melton, and Brandon Rogers have continued or are continuing with their hitting and throwing progression. So a lot of names that we can recognize off that IL that are progressing. And then there was no update on Jeremy Pena at the time because it's, like I said, it's going to be 6 to 12 weeks with him out. It's always something, man. I feel like we do this podcast once a week, and it's a new injury that we have to discuss. And sometimes we get people back from injury and they don't perform. Lance McCullers Jr.
Another win for the Jordan train.
Now, he did have a very funny comment. He said, something along the lines of like, maybe I just don't pitch against the NL Central because the Rays murdered him and the Cubs murdered him. Maybe anyone else is fine. He has less than a 2 ERA pitching against anyone else. If it's the NL Central, if we play a team from the NL Central in the World Series, and if we make it that far, he's done. Cut him from the team. He's out. He's not he's not throwing a single pitch.
We're DFAing him.
Yes. Or just like, hey, go back to the weight room. Another freak injury, asshole.
Yeah. Again, the thing with Lance McCullers, it seems like he every once in a while just does this thing where he just cannot get control of anything in his pitching arsenal. And that is my main complaint with Lance McCullers. It's not that I think he's a bad pitcher, not that I hate that he is, kind of a one ball kind of guy. I just hate that every once in a while it just seems like a team understands him perfectly. And next thing you know, it's like over.
You could say the same thing about Framber Valdez. Maybe less frequently, but Framber has some outings that he just gets shelled on.
See, but here's the thing. I blame Lance McCullers being unable to locate his pitches well whenever that happens. And I blame Framber for just breaking down to a mental level of a 2-year-old. He does not know where he is anymore. It's like the franchise situation is he goes in, he has a good innings, something goes wrong, and all of a sudden, everything starts to go wrong. Just it's with Lance McCullers, you can see his location's off, or he's not doing a good job pitching. Framber, it's he has lost his mind is melted. It's that old Dennis Leary from Rescue Me on FX commercial where TV turns your brain into cheese. It was a Hulu commercial back in the day. It's his brain turns to cheese and it melts out his ears. He has no composure whatsoever. So they're two very different breakdowns. One is a pitching breakdown, one's a mental breakdown. There's a world where you get a sports psychologist in there and just talk to him, hopefully maybe through that. I don't know if they've tried. Whereas Lance McCullers, it just seems it just stops working. The hand stops working.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I'm kind of upset with myself between my father-in-law, you, and my brother that I have. And I did not prep this beforehand. I just realized this was sitting next to my desk anyways, that I have I am on the hill, that I have to die on this Lance McCullers Jr. hill and take as many haters with me as I can. I'm losing this battle. I'm getting obliterated. I'm losing men left and right. I'm getting stabbed. It's not fun, but I have to hold up this sword and continue the fight until his $17 million contract a year is over.
I'd like to point out, I don't like to tie myself to other Lance McCullers Jr. haters because I don't hate him. I just dislike his pitching in a more intellectual way. Also, I've disliked it for a very long time. I'm a hipster on Lance, as I hate.
Whoa! What word were you just about to use? What word were you just about to use, motherfucker?
I was gonna say hated.
Oh no, you were gonna say hipster.
Oh no, I said hipster already. I fully just said I was a Lance McCullers Jr. hipster.
Very off-topic podcast. You and our friend Christian got very mad at me that I called you guys hipsters at a very hipster bar, and you guys were like, "That's beneath you."
Okay,
that's beneath you to call us that. And I was like, "You've called yourselves that," and you're like, and then we had to call the waitress over, and I was like, "Is this bad for me to say about my friends?" And she was like, "Probably," and I was like. And we picked the most hipster one at the hipster bar to ask that if that.
I'd like to provide a very important context to this. It's because all my friends by LCD Sound System played, and we both said, "Oh, this is a good song." You go, "You guys are such hipsters." That is not a hipster song. That's just a good song.
Is that what I? Oh, yeah. I might not have even. Okay, so it was.
I remember that fully. That was the catalyst for our discussion. I don't remember that. Being because I heard the piano.
If that's the truth, and that's fair. My statement was still true, though. That is not the reason. That's not a fair reason to say, but my statement is still true.
Brian, okay, I need to confess something real quickly. I don't know if you've seen my shirt at all. Very slowly. I was not going to show this because I don't need to show this. But it is a Matty Healy is a rat shirt. And with him, lots of hearts because they play Glastonbury, and also is one of the few black shirts I had clean right now. So I want to fight you on this pretty badly because I don't think I am a hipster. I think a hipster is a very outdated term in terms of like what it describes culturally. With that said,
you're not doing yourselves any favors.
I have zero grounds to stand on. They played Chocolate, and I discovered Chocolate like early on. Back in like high school, when we were in high school, which is a long time ago, disgustingly long time ago. Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on. I remember like, you know what? I fucking remember all of you calling me a metrosexual.
I was going to bring that up. I will say, I don't think you're actually a hipster. The argument was more, well, first off, our other friend is, he's not going to listen to this. It's fine. It was more that I just called it to you guys jokingly, and you guys were both clutch your pearls. And,
Can I admit something on this podcast? There's a girl I ended up dating a long time ago, but before we started dating, I was trying to be super cool. The problem was like...
This never ends well for anyone, by the way. I'm not just laughing at you.
No, one, I'm just not. Two, I was like in that stage of life where I like started drinking like actual, like I was like drinking like different beers, not like a Coors Light. I was not drinking like a Miller High Life. And so I was trying to like
champagne beer.
I think Miller High Life may be one of my favorite beers, only because like it brings back, it's not bad, it brings back great memories.
No, do you know at HEB it's the most insane beer deal I've ever seen in my entire life?
It's like $7 or something like that.
It's $8 for a 12-pack of glass
it's crazy.
Bottles. And I was like, this is the best bang for your buck ever.
There's every once in a while where like I just crave a beer and I'll go to HEB and I'll be like, that's what I'm going to get. Like, I'm just going to get that. I'm not going to pay like something else.
It does the job, man.
Yeah. There's something about that's just like a very American in the beer as well. It just like feels like, I don't know if it's the glass bottle. I don't know if it's the colors. It just feels right. Like 4th of July weekend, might have a couple because I feel like it just feels right. It's like, we're not sponsored by Miller. Obviously we have like 3 listeners and one of them is our mom. I said, I don't know, both our moms combined for a single one.
Our mom.
Yeah. Like, there's just something like, it feels like I'm going to road trip in the 70s through like the Ozarks and drink a beer while I do it. And that's going to be Miller High Life. It just feels like
Miller High Life.
It's just an American beer. And I have very good memories of like pre-time when I should have been drinking said beer with some friends. And it's a very nice beer. Circling back to where we were talking. I think I mentioned her, like, I was like, I don't drink those kid drinks anymore. I drink real adult drinks.
Oh man!
I've come along.
So, what was your real adult drink?
I don't know, like a fucking hoppy beer, like nothing cool. Like again, I'm not cool in any capacity. It was like I don't know. I discovered IPAs. It was like, I'd like to drink apple cider vinegar and kombucha. So this kind of fits my palate. Which, by the way, I do love kombucha. It's a great thing. So yeah, no, that was
drink what you want to drink, man. That's my philosophy.
I mean, I think I'm a hater, as we'll see later on with Hot Topic, Hot Take, where we'll start with a big one. I mean, well, probably, I don't know, as things go on. I can pop a couple out right here. If you listen to audiobooks, you're not reading books, and stop saying so. I don't like you.
My wife might fight you on that one.
Okay, if we're gonna go full books, I think if you read smut, you're not a real reader. I don't like it. You're not.
She won't fight you on that one.
Okay, you don't read real books. Yeah, if you read audiobooks, like it's like me going to listen to history podcasts, be like, I read history books. It's like, well, no, I listened to a podcast between two very pompous British men. That's what I did, and I enjoy it. But I'm not going to pretend and say like, oh yes, I read a history textbook. It's like, no, those two guys like made fun of Prince Harry the entire time because they hate him. So they're monarchists. I'm not going to sit there and pretend. So if you listen to audiobooks, you don't read books, you listen to them. Just be honest about it. Just be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I just know when to pick my battles.
I mean, part of probably my girlfriend's problem with me, and I say that this was love. Sometimes, like, you know, when sometimes you just keep things in your head and you're like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't say that. That's me with, like, most things. I'm like, I should say this. I think I've said raw dog in pretty uncomfortable situations before, just in general, out in the world. I think I almost said it in a work meeting once. It's like, yeah, we just got to raw dog this. I was like, nope, shouldn't say that. I definitely have said it at work before to people who are trustworthy. Let's transition. I'm done with baseball.
I've got nothing on baseball. I just wanted to get the Chandler Run thing out.
Okay. Rockets drafted Jemai Meshack from Tennessee. I like Jemai Meshack. I think he's a great defender. He's not a great shooter. I don't know if we need another great shooter per se. I prefer a guy who plays some solid defense as well. And you say that we got KD, and again, I spent the whole last week railing against KD. I will continue to rail against KD now because I think he's a bad basketball player because I worry about his locker room presence with young guys. That said, Jemai Meshack, I'm really happy with that pick, especially because what was he? Was he the 60th pick or whatever? The last pick in the draft. I'm not going to fight on that one. I think Tennessee is probably was the best defensive team in the SEC. I think he was an all defensive player this year. I'm happy with the pick. And I will say that as someone who likes college basketball defensive players. So I'm very happy with what the Rockets got in that draft, which was, I think, literally one pick. And then, I mean, Jabari Smith Jr. as well signed that extension. So the Rockets are really locking down the entire team right now, and I'm very happy. Like, again, I will say again, I will continue to say it, the Houston basketball I watch is the college. With that said, I do like the Rockets. I think again they have a great base, and I don't know if it's Western Conference Finals or bust, but I'm not unwilling. I'm getting there. I'm not unwilling to say that, if that makes sense. I'm not going to say it, but I'm not unwilling to say it.
So this is what we've done in the offseason for the most part. We traded for KD, huge. Re-signed Fred VanVleet. I'm never going to be able to pronounce that right. Re-signed Jabari Smith. Re-signed Steven Adams. Signed Dorian Finley-Smith, which might be one of the coldest low-key signings of this entire offseason. We'll see how he fits in. And then we signed and brought back Clint Capella, but I don't believe we have the room for him. So I think this is going to be a sign and trade situation. Yeah. But if he's our third, I don't want to say string, our third center, that's insane.
I mean, we have the anti-Lakers problem, which is we actually have maybe too many centers. Hype. Yeah, we have too much hype, maybe. But yeah, no, I mean, the Rockets. I don't know what the Rockets front office took, like, I don't know, in June and said like, "Fuck it, we're going." I don't know what kind of powder they have in that room up there, but they're going hard, and I want whatever they're having because they're doing a great job.
They're going in, and I like it.
I mean, I think probably what it is, they see their window opportunity is finally opened, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna take it now." There's no reason to wait around. There's no reason to wait around for like Jalen Green to develop to the player we want. Let's fucking take it now.
I have another theory. They traded for KD, and they realized we're going to be a laughingstock if this shit backfires. So we have to go in now. We're going to fire every gun we can. We're going to make every move we possibly can to make this the best situation to push this for a championship. We have to compete with OKC. It's not a first season championship or bust. It's not. I want to you gotta get at least my bare minimum is you gotta get it to at least game 6, game 7 of the second round. Bare minimum.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not willing to say yet Western Conference Finals or bust. Talk to me when it in like, I don't know, November, December. We'll have that conversation then. I think it may have changed my mind then. Right now, I'm not willing to say that. I think you have the perfect floor right now. Give me, and you don't even have to win.
Anything less than that, I'm going to be furious and to say blow it up.
Also, like to point out
this isn't going to work. KD's going to be a year older. We haven't gotten better really. We got out of the first round, great, but we can't go get out of the first round, lose second round, get out of the second round, lose Western Conference Final, get out to the finals, lose the finals, and then win the finals. That's a 5-year plan that we do not have time for.
No one has time for that plan. I mean, we're I'm not saying we're on borrowed time as it is, because we're not on borrowed time, but like we are.
No, but KD is.
KD's been on borrowed time for a while. That is. I mean, I will give KD this. KD is the kind of guy who seems like he is all in on basketball. That's all he has in his life, and that's not a bad thing. That's just something to be said. And so I am okay with us accelerating our potential timeline. Just because I do not want there to be a world where, hey, we have all these young guys, we have all this opportunity, we've traded away these picks. Why wait around forever to get that done? No?
I tend to agree, and I don't think we'll be done. I think we're not done this offseason. I think with the Clint Capella trade, the signing, it's a kind of why do this? I think it's going to be a sign and trade, but we'll see. It's been a less than 24 hours as of recording, but like I said, we'll see. I mean, it's real early. The NBA Finals just finished a week and a half ago. So,
which again, I mean, the fact that we already are on like drafting, and I mean, imagine if like the NFL finished the season, and if the Super Bowl was finished, and then a week later we're talking about the draft.
Yeah,
I think that's I don't know. I think that's a failure on Adam Silver's part. I'm also, I mean, well, it wouldn't be a Jordan talk without talking about Adam Silver in some capacity. I was gonna talk about how we are going to at some point probably run into. Okay, finally found it. We're at some point going to run into the Warriors again. This here thing we call basketball, and the worry I have, Brian, is that the Warriors have signed 2, I think, developmental contracts. There's a summer league contract, and I think maybe 2 summer league contracts. One for Javier Francis, one for LJ Cryer, who are both UH basketball alumnuses at this point. Mm-hmm. My worry is one of them makes the roster, and it's Warriors Rockets round 1 over again. And you say, Jordan, of course you choose the Rockets. Like, that's your hometown team. I say, Brian, I've never cried.
If you choose a single player that did not win a championship at your school, you are wrong for this. If he helped you beat Florida, fine. I understand the undying loyalty. You are wrong for this.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to bring up like Notre Dame and then versus the Texans, but you said one. Well, it had to be more than one guy. It had to be like maybe it actually had to be 2 guys in the starting lineup about.
He's not going to be a starter though. He's going to be a bench guy.
No.
It's not even a starter.
I'm speaking like they're both summer league guys as well. So like I'm speaking incredibly theoretically at this point. I don't know. Why not? Speak a little theoretically.
If you get two, if they both make it, one's off the bench and one's starter, or at least seeing significant minutes, I'll understand it a little bit more. But
I speak a little theoretically for them, Jordan, and that's what I've decided to do. But yeah, no, I mean, like in actuality, I'd have to see. I like because like this team is very important to me. It was
I would understand if they brought you a national championship. I would understand it undying loyalty because they brought you eternal happiness. They didn't. I'm sorry to say it that way. I don't have any extreme loyalty to any of the players on Notre Dame because they crushed my hopes.
Brian, technically they brought us a Big 12 championship, so please watch your mouth.
I'm a coveted Big 12 championship.
It actually is quite coveted. It's not the SEC championship this season, but it is quite coveted nonetheless. The draft also happened, just to move us on, and so we're not stuck on this point for the next 30 minutes, which is totally possible. Draft happened. It was a very freshman-heavy class. There were a lot of freshmen who went. Unsurprisingly, Cooper Flagg goes first. I did see Nico Harrison said something along the lines of like, "This was you're finally seeing the plan in motion." I'm like, what plan? What
No,
plan?
motherfucker, you got lucky.
You got Adam Silver. Nosferatu himself helped you there. Again, Adam Silver, please be mean to me. Please be mean to me, Daddy, or Nosferatu. But like, you got lucky in this entire thing. There's no like. Well, actually, our plan all along was to trade Luca and somehow fail upwards. So no, but like it was an interesting draft nonetheless. I felt like, at least from my perspective, it was hard to evaluate. Like Cooper Flag was obviously number one. From there, I really didn't know where people were going to go. Like I will say, I'm into the Yang Hansen train completely. I am all in on him. He is my guy. He destroys that baseline. He's an artist on that baseline. From what I understand, every single team you interview with loves him. Apparently, he has a great personality, even if there's a language barrier, which makes me happy. He's a guy who will scream for the ball because he can't, he doesn't speak English. So I'm in on the Yang Hansen train. I will follow that man into battle. I don't know what his career will look like. I don't know where he's going to go. I think he went 16th, which was real like step up from what people thought he was going to go. All white suit. Be still my 2003 heart. Like, yes, this is what I was looking for. Listen, NBA draft, a little too much pomp and circumstance. We talked about the draft, the NBA finals not having any pomp and circumstance. I don't want you guys dressing like you're going to prom. I'm sorry. That's my hot take. Yang Hansen shows up, looks like he's being drafted with LeBron James. That's what he looks like. And I go, you know what? That man's about to be a superstar. And I'm excited for it.
NBA is the NBA. It's not even close, right? NBA fits pre-game, post-game, draft day. They are the biggest league for that, right?
The NFL draft has gotten
there's some
bigger.
NFL.
Yeah.
There's some NFL, but I feel like the NBA is like.
I mean, historically, throughout all of time, it's been full of fits. They're throwing fits out there. There's like, I don't think there's an NBA. I mean, going back to like
the big suit fit was the best.
But things that they were kind of wearing that. If you look back, they're kind of wearing.
No, 100%. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is a good thing. I'm saying, are they the most fit heavy? Like, man, like walking into like the walk-ins for. I remember Cam Newton, right? Cam Newton was the big fit guy for a while. Joe Burrow has done it for a little bit, but like I feel like it's a lot more percentage-wise prevalent in the NBA that like role players and bench players do it, like the crazy fits and stuff, as well as the stars, not just like the Cam Newtons or the Joe Burrows or the Jason Kelsey's. Travis Kelce's, not just them, but like everyone in the NBA.
Can I throw us for a little curveball real quickly?
Sure.
Cam Newton has into the Johnny Depp realm of, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
With the fits. Like,
yes.
Johnny Depp loves accessorizing. Cam Newton, you don't always need a hat. You just don't. Like, I'm wearing a hat today because my hair's a little crazy. You don't always need you don't need to have like a hat like that. It feels like he's over accessorizing at this point. He's into the Johnny Depp school of just over accessorizing for the fun of it, and like Johnny Depp kind of makes it worth a little bit, just because he's just weird enough. Cam Newton is kind of weird, but not weird enough where I think he's accessory level weird. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you're going for.
Like I can deal with the hat. The hat it's the deal with is not. I like if I could dress like Cam Newton, I probably would. I can't. I don't have the aura for that. I think he's kind of. I don't know. Sometimes I look at him like, okay,
that's all he has left, man. It's all he has left.
He has like 7 children. He has a ton of children.
I mean, for the public eye, that's all.
Okay. He has that in the public eye. I mean, sometimes he dresses like he's like
because his takes suck, and he can't play football anymore.
He dresses sometimes
I wouldn't want you called playing what he did on the Patriots that last season, really playing football, but
I was gonna say sometimes he dresses like a
quarterback, I should say.
He dresses like a metrosexual oil baron. Like that's kind of what he dresses like.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Again, if I could, I would, but I can't. But to your point, yes, I think there's also fewer people being drafted in an NBA. So probably like it's easier if like like Jemai Mashak. Like he went. I think he went last. I can't remember. He won one of the last picks because he's the Rockets pick. He probably this actually makes 0 sense because I don't actually know what he wore. I was gonna say he also dressed down. He was like the last in the draft, but if you look at like the end of the draft, there's still guys dressing pretty fancifully. But like if you're Mr. Irrelevant, I mean at that point just wear a t-shirt. Like at that point, like you're not even
just happy to be here, man.
You don't even get to see. Roger Dell's not even going to shake your. He's going to spit on you, actually, and not sexually. He's going to spit on you, just because he doesn't like you. Like Roger Dell's not going to shake your hand. So I think it's just fewer guys, and it's easier in a setting like that where it's like, 60 of us are going to go. It's way easier to have fits. Whereas like I don't know, 270 or whatever. I mean, NBA NFL drafts like 270 or something like that. So with all that said, NBA. Getting a little too much, a little too. No, I say they dress like they're going to prom. They're like 1 year removed, so I don't know if I can fight them on that. Like some of them are 1 year removed.
Yeah, they're young kids.
Brian, to transition kind of backwards to the college basketball. Brian, we spent the last couple a couple times in the past couple of weeks we've talked about Stephen A. running for president. How he actually probably will do it, just given how he's acting, what he's saying, kind of the moves he's making. And also just him in general being the pompous man he is. I say we've cast our eyes the wrong direction. There's another who is also probably going to run for Senate or something like that. I speak of Bruce Pearl, who was on Fox News, and the Chiron said Bruce Pearl calls out the Ayatollah. Which, what a ridiculous headline.
What are we doing?
Auburn's college basketball coach
is calling
Ayatollah Khamenei and Iran. I don't know what he said. I don't think I have to guess what he said because I see his Twitter profile, which is like, yeah, Auburn got drafted. The communist news network is destroying America. Auburn coming to your city in November. So
what are we doing as a society, as a country?
Is it? I don't think I'm wrong in what I'm about to say. I might be. I think it's like every Alabama election, Nick Saban gets a non-insignificant number of votes.
No, 100% he does.
For like president / senator / maybe congressman. I don't know. Yeah, so we've kind of set our eyes a little too far to Steve because Stephen A. on TV more. It's he's on year round. He's getting his name thrown out there. We're going to be so blindsided when Bruce Pearl runs for Senate in Alabama because, again, it's
what are we doing?
Bruce Pearl calls out the Ayatollah.
What are we doing?
It's just an insane headline. Or insane
I hate this place. I hate this place.
I do want to know what his will his campaign at all talk about his lack of defense at times. Will he ever have to address that? And that's the real question I want to pose to Bruce Pearl.
We're going to take the liberals to the hoop.
We're going to shoot threes on the liberals. Liberals have never seen man defense like this.
All right, I just swallowed a joke. We're moving on.
Okay.
I just had to swallow that one.
Speaking of swallowing, Mitch Marner left. He went to Vegas. Now, again, this is our first season watching hockey. Still kind of, because it's the first real off season I paid attention to. I don't know if this, I just see every comment is like, oh, of course Vegas was involved. Because, of course, Vegas apparently is involved. Mitch Marner was traded to Vegas, got an 8-year extension, probably for the best. I know he had a no trade clause, or not a no trade. He had agreed to any trade that occurred. After the Maple Leafs fans booed him, which maybe rightfully so. The Maple Leafs play as though they're I don't know what the NHL game is like, but 2K or MLB or the show where it's here are all these cards of really good players. Let's just make sure they have no chemistry whatsoever in real life. So I think Mitch Marner left probably for the best, just because I think the Maple Leafs need a little bit of a revamp. But who am I to say anything? Because this is my first season watching hockey, so I can't really talk when it comes to that.
Would you want Connor McDavid?
I mean, Brian, everyone would want Connor.
Yeah, okay.
McDavid.
I was about to say the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
No, I don't know if Maple Leaf fans will agree with that because, again, he plays for the Oilers. At the same time, as a fan who does not have the generational rivalry of Canada, nor the hockey rivalry of versus anybody, yes, I will take Connor McDavid. If that's an option you're offering, I'll call up like the Maple Leafs front office and be like, hey, my friend Brian has some inside information for you. I don't know if you want Connor McDavid, but I think I can get him. we have a Tim Hortons in Houston now, so we're basically Canadian.
Is it too early to crown Florida three-peat?
No, I don't think so at all. I think the way they played, the way they kind of ran through the playoffs,
and they just it seemed like they got everyone back.
Yeah. I think it's kind of this is where I need Adam Silver. I don't know who the commissioner of the NHL is, but like it's like ref do something, like stop, like veto this trade. I don't know. Fix this, please. We're living under. We talk about fascism in the world. We're living under a fascist regime in the NHL. The
Florida Panthers.
The Florida Panthers are never going to let us
go peas.
I mean, if this keeps up, they're going to be champion for the next 7 years. They're going to make the Patriots look like a little like fun. They're going to make them look like, I don't know, the Holy Roman Empire or something like that. Like, oh, they were fine. Like, no, we're the Roman Empire actually. The Holy Roman Empire, which was another Holy Roman Empire, and they'll be like, no, we actually the Roman. We're counting from the monarchy all the way to the fall of Byzantine. So that's See, I listen to history podcast. All right, Brian. Are you ready for hot topic, hot take? Huh?
Yes.
Okay. This is for those of you who have no fucking clue what we're talking about. Hot topic, hot take is where over the summer, because there are very few sports on other than baseball, and baseball can be ebb and flow. We're going to give our hot take and then we're going to debate it. Brian can either disagree with me or I can disagree with Brian, or so on and so on. We'll figure it out. So my first hot take for hot topic, hot take is that I think slow drivers are bad people. Genuinely bad people.
Just blanket statement. Bad
people. And I'll add on to this. If you have an A&M decal on the back of your car, you're a bad driver. I don't know what it is. As I've driven in Houston for the past, 16 to now, so like 13 years. If you have an A&M decal or like a fish decal on the back of your car, you're a bad driver. I don't know what it is. You guys all suck. So yeah, I think the problem.
I don't know if you're a bad person if you drive slow.
I think you're an inconsiderate person who doesn't think about the equity of others and or the I don't know, equity. Think about others when you're driving, because when you're a slow driver, you actually seem to, in my opinion, cause more accidents. You'd say, well, fast drivers actually cause most accidents. No, because they're trying to get around slow drivers who are in the middle lane for some reason. Get to the right lane or get on the feeder road. I don't care where you are. You're a bad driver. If you're driving 60, I remember this, Brian. There's a Facebook post back when we were like in high school, and this guy was talking about like how he was in the fast lane and he was going the speed limit of 60, and some person got around him and he just like laughed at him, how he was just a stupid person. Like, no, you're actually an evil human being. Like, that's the fast lane. Get the fuck over.
Yeah, the left lane is meant for going faster and passing, mainly for passing, but we treat it as if you're going the left lane, you should be going 7 to 10 miles per hour faster than the speed limit. They can't stop us all ass mentality.
7 to 10 is pretty slow. Actually, that should be
7 to 10 is pretty slow. You're an insane person. I forgot that we drove to Alabama for a wedding and you left like an hour and a half after we did, and you beat us to the place an hour before we did. Now, our friend's lovely fiance was driving at the time, who exclusively went the speed limit from Houston to Alabama, and I was so mad in the back. I was like, I should have just driven.
Yeah, no. So I maybe to provide important context to this hot topic, hot take. I drive probably anywhere between the range of 80 to 85 on freeways at all times. Now, here's the thing: I'm actually one of the slower fast drivers. In Houston,
that's true.
At least
that's true. You're a slow fast driver.
So, I mean, I truly do think, like, if you're a slow driver, especially if you're, like, on a freeway and you're in the middle lane or, like, anywhere other than the designated slow lane, which, by the way, isn't really the slow lane, because in Houston, at least, there are ramps to get on that merge with those left lanes or those right lanes. Get off the freeway and drive on the feeder road. It's fine. Which, by the way, if you're listening on TikTok and you know what a feeder road is, it's just like the side of the road. We just call it feeder. This is the only place in the country that calls it feeder roads. I genuinely think
we're the only place in the country that calls it that.
Yeah, it's like a colloquialism just in Houston, which is kind of crazy to me. But yeah, no, if you are a slow driver, you are a bad person who doesn't think about others at any capacity. And you are so focused on being scared and timid while driving that you don't have the ability to look around and say, actually, I have to be an adult. Because by the way, driving's not that hard. You're an adult. You're an adult. It's not that hard. Just fucking drive. So I truly do think you're a bad person if you drive slowly.
I don't think you're a bad person if you drive slowly. I think you're an inconsiderate person.
But
Or
inconsiderate makes you a bad person. If you're considerate,
I wouldn't say inconsiderate doesn't. I don't think inconsiderate equals bad.
But if you're consistent,
I would not put someone that drives slowly on the same list as someone that shoots firefighters. That is a bad person.
But that's like comparing the atom bomb to like, I don't know,
Coffin baby.
Yeah, coffee. Well, yes, like yes, one is genuinely evil, and like I think that person will rot in hell. And the other is like,
but would they fall under the bad person category, Jordan?
There are levels
bad
of
person
bad people.
Is such a large category.
Like Avicii taught us, there are levels to everything. All right, just because there is there's not one tier of bad person. It's not like a Patreon subscription where it's one tier.
Inconsiderate person. You're saying consistently inconsiderate people are bad.
Yes, because you have not thought about to change your ways. You're not changing your ways at all. You know you're
I was about to argue with you, and then I realized the example I picked. I would say if I saw that, I think that someone was a bad person. I was going to say, so someone that's inconsiderate would not return their shopping cart to the little things. Oh, and I was about to say, does that mean they're a bad person? And when I was about to say that, I thought I pictured myself in HEB parking lot and seeing someone just leave their basket, and I would just go, okay, they're a bad person. Yeah, okay.
You know what grinds my gears so fucking much? What makes me so angry? Like, to the point where I'm like, if I see the person who does this, I'm going to yell at them. When I try to pull into a parking spot at HEB or any establishment, and there's a fucking cart in that parking spot, just enough where you can't
return your fucking carts.
Returning your carts is like the one thing, Scotty, that I think shows whether like you're a really good or bad person, like a moral, not moral person.
That's why I was about to make this argument. I was like, no, they're pieces of shit. Yeah. I'm starting to see the vision, Jordan. I'm starting to see the vision.
Well, there's no more, so there's no like legality behind it. So, like returning your cart, there's no legality. They can ask you, but like there's no penalties to not return your cart. Which to me says, if you don't return your card, you're just like you're a soulless person. You're the soul of someone who, like, I don't know, atom bomb versus coffee baby.
There's no way the 20 seconds at most it takes you to return it is you're in such dire, like, I don't know, dire circumstance that you can't return your. It's okay. You've successfully convinced me that I'm starting to see the vision.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, if you go slow once. Like, I've gone slow once. I've gone slow a couple times because you have to. Like, that's just how the world works. Sometimes you have to go slow. Maybe you're on a phone call. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm a little tired, whatever. But if, like, consistently you're in, like, the middle lane, or even, I say in Houston on the right-hand side, especially on 45, and you're going slow. And, like, I'm saying, like, 60, 55, 60. I've seen people go 30 on the freeway before, and I thought they should get shot on the side of the freeway.
Oh, yeah. No, 30. Okay, so what do you consider slow?
60. The speed limit is slow. Because the thing
60 is 5 below the speed limit, because it's 65.
Is it 60? It's 65 on...
It's 65.
It's 65 up to a certain point on 45. On 45, most of 45 is 60.
I thought it was the opposite. I think it's only 60 at certain parts, but it's mainly 65.
Either way, I think the speed limit is probably considered slow to me. Only because, like, again, and I want to say this as to get context, Houston is a very fast city. You drive to survive out here.
It sucks, dude.
Like this number will change based upon the city. And Houston, the speed limit is slow. Like if you're going the speed limit, you are falling behind. It's like if you show up on time, you're actually late already. You're a manager of a Payless Shoes. So if you're going 60, you're going slowly. Or if you're going 65, you're going slowly. I think I've always heard that's like 10% above the speed limit is what you can go. Just go a little above, or like go with the flow of traffic. But there are people, especially like in the morning when I'm driving to work, that are in the left-hand lane going fucking 60. And I'm like, hey.
That's that. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. If they're all the way on the right side lane, I don't care. You want to know why I don't care? Because I'm never in that lane. Yeah. That's not my fucking problem. Unless I'm exiting, I'm not in the right lane. That's not my fucking problem. I'm in the middle, to or the left.
Brian, how many times have you been on the freeway and there's a slow car and there are a ton of cars behind them in the line, and the slow car is not doing a single thing? Like they're not speeding up, not getting over.
Too many.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Those are bad people. How can you, like, part of driving, part of being a good driver is being aware of your surroundings. You have to look in your mirrors throughout your drive. You have to make sure you're looking behind, make sure like, hey, you're checking your blind spots throughout. Because like you are driving a death machine. This thing will kill people. And so if you're going 60 in the left-hand lane and there's a line of cars behind you and you have not one realized or two done anything to change that situation, you are a bad person. And there are slow drivers like that everywhere. And slow drivers continue to do that. Now, every once in a while you have a slow driver who goes like, hey, sorry, my bad, and gets over. I'll maybe give them an exception. They'll get a hall pass for the night. Overall, think they're bad people because they're inconsiderate people.
Yeah, okay. I don't disagree. All right. You've convinced me.
I don't know if we should keep score. Like, huzzah. Yeah, that's my hot take. And that's one I've been always wanting to write about is like, listen, I do think like we should as a society be okay with using our brains a little bit. And kind of, I mean, I know most Americans walk. So maybe that's like why they're going fast. They're going slow because they can't picture going faster than that. At the same time, it's like be aware of your surroundings, go fast because like it's easier to change lanes or kind of get out of the way while going fast than it is to go slow.
100%.
Yeah. So that's why I think they're genuinely bad people. Now, again, maybe not a blanket statement. At the same time, all indications, all evidence I've anecdotally been presented with over my 13 years of driving say otherwise. They are relatively bad people.
I have to rethink my list of hot takes because that was great. And I will give you an example of one of mine and we can discuss it briefly.
Okay.
Whataburger is kind of disappointment now.
Yeah.
I would say Whataburger has been bad since it got sold to that company in Chicago or Colorado, whichever one it was. And it's every time I get it, it's a genuine disappointment, and it sucks because it was such a staple. And I remember telling people about it when I first went to school in Indiana after we graduated, and it being like it's phenomenal. It's the best fast food chain, bar none. And now since I've come back from Indiana / Alabama, I'll get it maybe once or twice a year, and every time I'm like, this is not what I remember. I don't know if it's just because we grew up. And we're like, and outside of Taco Bell, to be honest, most fast food to me does not taste good anymore. I remember loving like McDonald's as a freshman in high school because before football games we had, I had $6 so I could run to McDonald's and get 4 double cheeseburgers and eat them before a game because we could stomach and do that like an insane people. But no, I just remember Whataburger being really good, and then now it's just kind of. It's a nothing burger. Like, not to make a pun out of that, it's a nothing burger now.
There's nothing to it. There's no flavor to it, feels like, anymore. Actually, I once went to Whataburger at midnight because I needed something. I needed eggs. I can't remember why I needed eggs for some reason. I said, can I just buy your eggs whole? They're like, no. I was like, why? And they're like, you just can't. And I'm like, I'm not 2 years old. That's not really an answer for me, but whatever. I'm not going to fight your establishment. I'll go on my way. But yeah, no, like, they're bland. I've always thought Whataburger was
Jordan, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I can't remember why I needed eggs. I couldn't find eggs. I actually went to a Denny's first, and they said no, you can't buy them whole. I said okay. I think I also said like, what if I just order eggs uncooked? And they were like, no. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, dude. No fast food restaurant's ever going to do that. No restaurant's ever going to do that. Are you insane?
I just thought, listen, if you have the eggs, why not sell them? Oh, I even said I'd buy them at a premium. Again, but I'm not going to like fight workers. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, give me. I was like, hey, I always started with like, this is a weird request.
This is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my entire life, dude.
I feel like it's not that insane. Like, as no one ever
go to a 24-hour gas station.
I did, and they were $8 for like shitty eggs, and it made me annoyed.
That's what happens when you need eggs at midnight and you don't have eggs.
Yeah, I think it was like making breakfast for myself, like breakfast for dinner. I was like, I'll need some eggs right now. But I will say, In-N-Out is better than Whataburger. Not fries, but every other aspect of it is better.
Yeah, I remember that being an argument in high school, and I was like, how could anyone say that? And I had it, and I was like, this is not better. And now it's not particularly close. Yeah. Now, I don't think In-N-Out is all the fucking, greatest thing invented that people make it out to be, but it's definitely better than what Whataburger is now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Wow, I have to come up with better hot. I was just doing basic ones. Like one of them is, I'll just list them off, a couple of them. We don't really have to talk about them. One of them is Chick-fil-A is good. It's not the fucking cream your pants that everyone says it is.
That's the same people who eat crumble cookies. It's like, well, your taste buds aren't there. Most Americans' taste buds have been like zooted by the high fructose corn syrup and like egregious amounts of salts they put on everything. So yeah, like the fact that they like Chick-fil-A is like, oh, I love Chick-fil-A, which is, that's just like because they have no taste buds. Most Americans don't have taste buds at this point because they've been zooted.
I agree. You could go out, like you and I and Christian could go to the Dirty D, which is a bar, everyone. And have a night out drinking and buy their like grilled fajitas or whatever and have like 4 or 5 drinks and eat split some nachos or something, or maybe order 2 nachos to split, and it would still be it would be less calories than an entire crumble cookie just to ourselves. Crumble cookies are insane.
I'm pretty sure they use like egregious amounts of lard. That's the only that's because I like to taste them. I'm like, they taste like good in the fact that like they're buttery. They're like kind of buttery, but I think it's just because they put a lot like of lard or something in there. I don't like crumble cookies. I think they are like kindergarten
up to 1,200 calories.
Yeah. There should be no. I mean, there should be.
That's a 12 pack of Miller High Life.
Love Miller High Life. I love you so much. Please sponsor us for like, just send us some, because I think Miller High Life may be the best beer of all time. Like no matter like, I'll go taste like a really good beer.
Well,
like,
okay, it's a 10. It's not 12. It's we could have 8.
Okay.
9.
That's fine though. That's fine. That's like relatively normal. I was gonna say, I think Miller High Life may be like the best beer in terms of like, you'll taste and be like, this is actually kind of a good beer, and then you go taste like a really good beer and like, that's a good beer. But then you go back to Miller High Life, like it's still good. Fine. Like it's still good.
That's the job.
Yeah, I still think I think it's more than fine. I think if we're doing like fine is like above average. I think we're kind of getting low, but it's not great. But it's a really good beer. It's a staple beer, and I will every Thursday of March Madness, every first Thursday, I will buy a 12-pack of Miller High Life, get myself a lemon, squeeze a little lemon in there, and go crazy.
Oh, I've never done the lemon twist on it.
It's a little bit. It's not a shandy, but it actually, you don't have to put that much lemon in it to make it like really good. So Miller High Life. Also, I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know what you had. Oh yeah, the Chick-fil-A. I think it's good. I think that's the job. I think they're grilled nuggets for people like me who like really care about their macros. Grilled nuggets are a really good option. But like, there's nothing else there. I go like, oh my god, I just need to have it right now. Like Chick-fil-A sauce. Just mayonnaise.
It's small and expensive. It is the Five Guys of chicken. It's small, expensive. The fries are really good.
Yeah.
But it's small and expensive, and that's about it.
You can get like 7 larges for $5 at the store of waffle fries. And it's better because you can make in your air fryer, make them really crispy, because I love like incredibly crispy
fries are better.
Brian, we're talking like I want to crunch. I get made fun of by most people for this. They don't like how crunch.
I don't know if I want a crunch. I would like a crunch on the outside and then, soft on the inside.
I'm okay getting crunched. Just like the captain, I'm okay getting crunched. So, all right. I think maybe I also think about like things too much. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm kind of enjoy it. So whenever we come up with next week, you'll start us off, and then I'll
have one ready in the pocket for next week.
Perfect. Well, also Brian, happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Totally forgot that was a thing. So I didn't realize what today.
1 million.
1 point, yeah. So good for him, Bobby. I'm hoping you're having a Miller High Life tonight. Just on us.
It's got 10 more years of that. I think it's to 2035 or something like that.
We should have just been not shitty basketball players, because he wasn't a shitty baseball player. We should have just been baseball players.
Just good enough baseball players.
Just good enough baseball players to make the MLB, which is like, by the way, top 0.0001.
Yeah. Very difficult to do.
Very baseball players, but we should have been better baseball players. So, Brian, I don't know if you have anything else for this podcast. Brian, where can the people find you?
You can find me across all social medias at Auric Polaris, AURICPOLRIS, especially at twitch.tv/Auric Polaris. Kind of an off week this week. I'm about to go on a trip, leaving Thursday morning. Doubt I have time to stream tomorrow, but next week, hopefully going to stream some more Elden Ring Night Rain, and maybe some Balatros sprinkled in there. Jordan, where can the people find you?
Find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter, and find me in Moonstamp across all platforms: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And I will have a blog this week at some point. I think we're like 600 words in, so it'll be here soon. So thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate you listening. Thank you for 1 year, kind of 1 year next week, but I think for at least 52 weeks. We really appreciate all the support you've given us so far. Yes.
Love Island update, buddy.
Okay. Let's go through. Okay, so things are happening, Brian. So I know people actually don't like this season very much because it's not like love oriented. As someone who does not care for love oriented shows, but really likes like Survivor type shows, having the time of my life. Friendship Island is breaking down, which I'm really appreciative of. Amaya is going to win the 100K because she's the only one who I'm like, whatever's wrong with her, I really want for myself in some capacity. Very wonderful human being. She's creating songs of the summer. There are things. I mean, there's recouplings happening. There are things that have happened. Oh yeah, there's like, I don't know. There was this whole thing where like this guy named Taylor was dating this girl Landria, but then he chose this girl named Clark, and like everyone like freaked the fuck out. And I'm just like, we need to fight. Someone needs to fight. I want someone to fight someone. Like I want something great. Like the thing is, the Love Island is like here, right here, and then Survivor is like filming over here. And so in theory, Survivor could see the guy, people starving for rice on an island being like, I've lost 50 pounds in the last 2 months. Are watching these people just like, oh, let me do a booty challenge. Let me sit on this guy's face for a challenge. And they're like, I actually haven't had fresh water in months. But yeah, no, I really do like this season just because like, I love like psychological games. There's like this 5'8" guy, which I don't have room to talk, named Ace, who's like running the entire villa. It's like people think they're game masters and they're not, and it's really fun. But I kind of find it's getting a little tough to watch a little bit because like I need something. Like there's nothing happening right now.
There's no bomb happening.
There's nothing there. I'm like, oh my god, like this is defining. This is defining right now.
So would you compare this to say when Taya dueled My Valentine, where it's like it's a duel? I guess.
Yeah. I think this week it's a duel. Like, yeah, it's like, okay, like Matt Valentine's clearly like the better duelist, but like Taya has to be in there for the plot. Mm-hmm. The producers have to make an episode because they have to. It's their job. It's like, we could have a little bit. The producers are kind of evil because they will make things happen. And I used to watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette only because I realized, because I watched it like once, I'm like, oh, this is just a game show. Like this is just a game show, and like you have these evil producers pulling strings who are like trying to make drama. You have like an evil host, and then like this Love Island season, I'm like, oh, like these people are evil behind the scenes, and I love it, and that's what they need to be. We actually need, if possible, more evil. More evil. We need more evil things happening. So it's been a really kind of a down week. I'm hoping next week I'll have more for you. It seems like Friendship Island's breaking up.
Sorry, go ahead.
It seems like Friendship Island's breaking up, so I'm happy for Hater Island because that's where I could be. Hater Island.
You got to get through your Mai's versus Tayas so you can have your Yugis versus Kaibas. Okay, there we go. It's the way it goes, man.
And our Kaiba's Mamaya, so my papaya. I'm on your side at all times. What was I going to? Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for the year of listening. Thank you so much for listening through this like dumb shit. We really appreciate it so much. Please like, subscribe, comment, rate, whatever you can do on whatever platform you're listening. We will see you next week for the start of season 2.
Love Island.